This video is sponsored by Surfshark VPN. Star Trek Picard is upon us. But rather than being filled with giddy excitement, we are hearing from our sources that CBS, and probably Amazon too, are bracing for impact. Because they know they have another Star Trek Discovery level disaster on their hands. After a brief message from our sponsor, I will in this video go through what a failure Picard's London premiere was, why Picard is shaping up to be another disaster, what Alex Kurtman has been doing as of late, and finally, what I'm hearing the head honchos in ViacomCBS actually feels about Picard and about Star Trek's future prospects. Before we begin though, it should be noted that Star Trek Picard is exclusive to CBS All Access in the US and exclusive to Amazon Prime nearly everywhere else, which means many will be tempted to put on a pirate hat and head for the high seas. Don't fall for that temptation. No one here condones that sort of thing. Always put the law and online safety first. For that, you need a VPN, like the one delivered by this video sponsor, Surfshark. A VPN, or Virtual Private Network, is a privacy protection tool which guarantees instant online safety. Surfshark encrypts all the data sent via the internet so that no one can obtain or steal content or other sensitive data or spy on what you're doing online. As a bonus, Surfshark allows you to change the country you access the internet from, which in turn allows you to bypass geo-blocking restrictions and censorship. That way, you can subscribe to a whole host of online streaming services which may be restricted to certain regions and thus obtain their exclusive content through your own registered profile no matter where you physically may be located. An additional advantage with Surfshark over many other VPN providers is that it allows one account to be used on unlimited devices. But there's more. If you type in the code MIDNIGHT when ordering, that triggers an exclusive deal in which you get 83% off the normal list price, plus 1 extra month for free. Surfshark also offers a 30-day money-back guarantee, so there's no risk in trying it out. Do check out the link in the description below for further details. And with that out of the way, I should also warn you that much of the information that is about to be revealed comes directly from sources that have reached out to me. But none of this can be independently verified, so do take it all with a grain of salt. However, I do think you will find this information will nicely complement and add detail to rumors you may already have heard from our friends Doomcock and Mecharandom. Like Star Trek Discovery before it, Picard has been subject to poor test screenings, indicating that the final product might not be all that well received. From CBS point of view, that is a cause for worry, but in isolation, they can live with you not being fully content as long as you subscribe to their service, All Access. Even if Picard might not be to your liking, you might discover something else once you're there and stay for that. This, however, assumes that Star Trek Picard is enticing enough to make you want to subscribe to begin with. And that is indeed why it was greenlit in the first place, to drive more traffic to CBS All Access. The triumphant return of Patrick Stewart to his signature role should drive audiences to a frenzy, but there are a number of indications that it hasn't. And that has them really worried, because it suggests that the Star Trek brand itself may be damaged. One of those indications was Picard's London premiere on January 16th. 500 attendees were expected to the premiere at the Leicester Square Odeon, but reportedly, only 150 showed up. Of these, 20 were paid to be there to document the occasion, and the rest were a mix of specially invited guests and actual paying audiences. On top of that, there were few onlookers, as documented on Twitter. This lack of attendance made the CBS representatives seriously spooked. Among the audiences that did show up, there were a few cosplayers, but none of them dressed up like any Discovery characters. This lack of support made the CBS representatives seriously annoyed. For what it's worth, this isn't the first time hosting a big screen premiere for a series intended for another platform failed to attract the anticipated audience. In the beginning of September of 2017, the first 2 episodes of the infamous Marvel show Inhumans were spliced together and released in over 1,000 IMAX screens in 74 countries across the world. It was thought that the MCU connection would boost it, but it didn't have the MCU flavor, so the audience stayed away. After grossing a meager $3.5 million, little even for its limited release, Inhumans was all out of theaters 2 weeks before it proceeded to bomb on ABC. Like the Inhumans didn't have that MCU flavor, Picard, also like Discovery before it, doesn't have that Star Trek flavor. To briefly recap for those who came in late, Star Trek Picard is made under the same alternate license as Star Trek Discovery and the Bad Robot movies, meaning it is continuing a tone and overall aesthetic that the audience have rejected through the vote of their wallets. Even so, that was the very look and tone Picard went for, despite third-party licensees making it abundantly clear they would not be investing in it. Before he was ousted as showrunner, Alex Kurtman was the one who set the initial direction and premise for Picard, just like he did Star Trek Discovery once his production company's secret hideout came aboard and hijacked it from original creator Bryan Fuller. Kurtzman proceeded to make Picard in the same mold as Discovery, and even align them so that storylines set up in each will converge down the line. International distributor Netflix were and are most displeased with Discovery, so upon learning that Picard would be more of the same, they pulled out when Picard was still in pre-production. Which is why international audiences aren't getting Picard on Netflix, even though that is where they'll find Discovery. CBS and Secret Hideout were bailed out by Amazon stepping in as international distributor, which is what allowed production of Picard to commence. However, the loss of Netflix and lack of interest from third-party licensees led to some serious friction between CBS and production company Secret Hideout, as well as internally within CBS, over which direction to take Picard. In the aftermath of Les Moonves being ousted, and many of his, and therefore Kurtzman's allies with him, the balance between those who were behind Moonves and Kurtzman's alternate Star Trek, and those who wanted a return to the original Star Trek, shifted. Not enough to slam the brakes, but enough to demand Picard take more visual and tonal cues from the original Star Trek license and the next generation. Kurtzman opposed this, which combined with dissatisfaction over where he had taken the by then in development Picard, led to him being stripped of day-to-day creative responsibilities over Star Trek. To this end, he was also ousted as showrunner on Picard, where he was replaced by Michael Chabon. For contractual reasons, CBS had to give Kurtzman another creative assignment. And this, from what I gather, is when he set his sights on the Silence of the Lambs spin-off series featuring Clarice Starling. You see, the Hannibal Lecter rights are divided too, between Silence of the Lambs in one end and everything else, including Hannibal Lecter himself, in the other. This is why original Star Trek Discovery creator Bryan Fuller, who also was the showrunner on the excellent Hannibal Lecter series featuring Mads Mikkelsen, couldn't feature anything from Silence of the Lambs in his series, while Kurtzman's upcoming Clarice Starling series can't feature Hannibal Lecter. So why did Kurtzman choose the one project that could cause upset to Bryan Fuller? That I do not know. Tell me what you think in the comments. Be that as it may, back on Picard, Chabon followed the new mandate and licensed in more elements from the original canon. But as our good friend Doomcock already reported, Kurtzman axed these, and he did so in the capacity as head honcho of production company Secret Hideout. You see, CBS can't take that away from him, and he is still bound to Star Trek by way of Secret Hideout. The end result is that the Picard we will be getting isn't anywhere near as close to the original canon and the next generation as Michael Chabon, who has since been ousted as well, had intended. Kurtzman may be happy with that, but according to the rumors, no one else are. Not CBS, not Amazon, and if what I'm hearing is to be believed, especially not the new ultimate ViacomCBS head honcho, Shari Redstone. According to rumors that have reached me, Shari Redstone and the upper echelon at ViacomCBS are extremely worried about Picard and the potential impact it can have on the longevity of the Star Trek franchise. The bad robot-produced movies are very clearly their own thing, and while Discovery makes the claim to be canon, it too can be discarded and never spoken of again following a hypothetical future course correction of the franchise. Not so with Picard, a series that already brings out all the big guns Star Trek has left. In bringing back Patrick Stewart, and having other actors from the Next Generation era show up in cameo appearances, Picard could by the general audience be perceived as the very course correction the franchise is in dire need of, even though it is anything but. The worry is that if the final appearance of Patrick Stewart as Picard is sufficiently poorly received, it could actually damage the franchise in a way there is no coming back from. Put in other terms, while Picard tries to be Logan, the worry is that it might actually pull a Last Jedi on the franchise. Shari Redstone considers Star Trek to be a family heirloom, but given the complex rights situation initiated by her father, and the damage Picard could do, the option of selling off the franchise wholesale is on the table. However, that is a last resort. But no matter what happens, changes will be forthcoming. In the aftermath of the Viacom and CBS re-merger, a new organization is in the process of being structured. There will be many layoffs along the way, and the brunt of those will be in the money-losing Viacom side, not the prosperous CBS side. Except for at the executive level. Former Viacom head honcho Bob Bakish, who just so happened to be a Redstone loyalist, is taking over as CEO for the new joint corporation, while Joe Iannello, former CBS head honcho, is out the door. There may be many reasons for that, but him being a protege of Shari's since-fallen enemy Leslie Moonves, and allegedly a supporter of Kurtzman's vision for Star Trek to boot, certainly did not help matters. Although I am unable to confirm if any decision taken to that effect directly led to his firing. But with Iannello gone, Kurtzman and Secret Hideout are increasingly isolated within the ViacomCBS system. If Picard doesn't deliver, then the green light for Season 2 suddenly won't be as green, and the fabled Section 31 series, already a long shot, can forget all about ever getting one. For Star Trek, the future is, as of now, not set. On TV, Picard Season 1, Discovery Season 3, and Lower Decks are a given, but after that, depends on how Picard is received. Don't hold your breath for those other live-action series Kurtzman is talking about just yet. On film, Star Trek 4 is dead, and so is the Tarantino movie. You may hear more investor pitches in the media, courtesy of Bad Robot, but ViacomCBS are unlikely to greenlight any movie for as long as Secret Hideout and the alternative license are still in play. Don't worry about Bad Robot though. They got their Warner and DC gig, so they'll be fine. Speaking of which, they must have discovered that I'm a huge fan of John Constantine, Hellblazer, because they're hard at work on a Justice League Dark movie. So yay, I guess. Let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comments. And before you go, remember to head on over to this video's sponsor, Surfshark, and use the promo code MIDNIGHT to get 83% off the normal list price, plus 1 extra month free of Surfshark VPN. Link is in the description.